Yeah, your audio isn't like ducking or anything, so that's Gucci for sure.
All right. Hopefully. Yeah, because it's the first recording with this mixer. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Okay.
Wait, you're using the Go XLR?
No. I have the P8, the Zoom, the PodTrack P8.
The one that you had before, right?
The one I sent you the picture of, that it has all the sliders as inputs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we got them at the same time. The guy from Sweetwater's like, "Why do you need two of these?" And I was like, my wife's a streamer. Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt like at the end of it. I was like, why is he even asking me? Yo, make that commission and shut the fuck up. Like, be happy I'm...
Yeah.
Maybe for returns, maybe you just want to make sure I'm not, but I mean, that's good. That's good, I guess, making sure.
You selling these mixers on the black market, son?
Right? Exactly. Like, are you selling these somewhere? I was thinking about that too. Like, what if he just thinks that I'm doing some stupid shit? Like
what?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it was just weird how he was like all up in the fucking, like, why do you need two of these? I'm like, I should have said that. I should be like, mind your business, okay? Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. What you should have said is, welcome to the podcast, everybody. It's the VGXL Podcast. I am your host, Atokad, for today. And joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Games. Hey.
Wait, we're starting right now? Oh my God.
Yeah,
I don't
what do you mean?
I'm so unprepared. I don't know what I'm doing. What's happening?
Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You take the script from him, he falls apart.
I'm done. I'm all discombobulated right now. And so
what's going on, bro?
This is how that feels, huh?
This is it. That's how that goes. Yeah. How's that feel?
It feels horrible. Why do you guys let me do this to you?
Because it's funny. That's why. It's great for me. I just get to watch you flounder now.
That's exactly what's
awesome.
happening. I was like, I'm here like you're talking, and I'm just like, I should have said that.
Ducking down.
Yeah.
Doing something.
I'm like,
that's fucking great.
Yeah. You should have said. Oh wait, no, we're recording. Oh, this is live. Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, that's it, huh? Yeah.
But
what's up, man? How are you?
I'm pretty good. Finally finished editing the other podcast. So last week. So that should be going out soon. And then here we are.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah. So today we are missing El Torrente. He has other business to take care of. Business as in partying his ass off, I guess, right?
Yeah, he went on his annual what's that called? GXF? No,
I don't know.
GFE. Yeah, DFE.
GFE.
Yeah.
What does that stand for? Are we allowed to know, or is that a secret?
No, it stands for Great Feral Escape. And he's been doing it for like 13, 14 years now. Damn. He's been doing that shit.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Because
I remember the first time I heard about it, I was super jealous.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I want to go to the freaking middle of nowhere and drink. Well, he doesn't drink, but still, like, everyone's like getting ripped and partying, jumping into lakes and doing all kinds of stuff. It's like a retreat for people who, for pretty much they started this because they all knew each other, and they do a lot of all those dudes work a lot, and so I guess this is their their annual like getaway from all the hard work and all the stuff, just to chill with buddies and have a good time. I mean, I haven't been invited yet, but but these are friends of his that
you're not a buddy.
Yeah, that I've never. I don't think I know any of them besides maybe like one or two other people, and that's like very loosely. Yeah, so
fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, it's all right. I wasn't invited either, so we can cry together. Yeah, so we're missing him today, so we might be missing some like the super in-depth like things we get into. Probably miss a few names. He's really good at like remembering like names of developers and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So bear with us on that. But yeah, we're gonna cover the Steam Deck today. We're gonna talk about that because we didn't bring that up really, so we're gonna dive into that a little more. I want to talk about a few of the other games that I've dropped recently, like the New World, the Ascent, which came out, which was we'll talk about that. And then just overall, kind of like, I feel like gaming is coming alive. I feel like things are. There are things on the horizon. There are things to look forward to now. So I just want to see how you kind of feel about that and get your take on it. But let's just, I don't know, let's just jump right into it. No reason to really wait. So just starting, have you played the Ascent? Did you get to try it?
No, I saw that it was, I saw people talking about it today all over Twitter. And then, so I have it installed, but I have not, I did not have time to play it though.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But I'm looking forward to it. I was looking, when you go to install it, you see all the like the little trailer displaying, and I'm like, this game really looks fun. I mean, I saw a quick picture of it getting a medium review, like in the 60s or 70s. But I don't care about any of that. I definitely
Oh, really? That low?
That's what I saw, but I don't know if it was real or not. So I want to try it for myself. Being that's on Game Pass, I'll just try it for myself. I'll make the decision whether it's mid or not. So
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I got to play it. It's a good time. I will say right now, first day it dropped, it's buggy-ish. There are a few things that are happening that have broken missions that I've had to like quit out and restart the game. One of them kept me occupied for like 20 minutes because I didn't realize it was broken. I figured maybe I just need to like walk back. I can reload, to reload that area a little bit.
right.
No such luck. So there are a few kind of mission breaking bugs, and DLSS for some reason you can't turn the option on if you have it with Game Pass. But if you bought it with Steam, everybody who bought it through Steam, apparently they don't have that issue.
Interesting. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I've actually experienced that slightly in the past. I was playing what was it? It was some like, I forgot what game it was. It was like some side scroller or whatnot, like a kind of like a Contra style game. And I remember playing it, and someone told me, I was streaming it on Twitch, and somebody told me that there was something wrong. They're like, "Oh, try to do this," and when I couldn't do it, they're like, "Oh, you're playing on Game Pass," and I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh yeah, that version's not updated. That's the older version." I was like, "Ew, that kind of sucks."
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did hear that this wasn't the first time that a Game Pass version of a game has been not up to par with the other version.
Which is
on PC, like
exactly. And unfortunately, this is a PC thing, so you're not gonna have the fanboys defend, shitting on on Xbox for it or Game Pass for that. But that does kind of suck. It's like it's Game Pass is an amazing service, but if I'm playing the inferior version, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that did jump to my mind too. I was like, is this gonna be where they get people? Is this how they made this possible? Because they let the developers know, they let other companies know or something that, don't worry about it. We won't super support it at the beginning. Or, is this a plan to keep people going to Xbox to make it kind of difficult on PC? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be too different. I feel like it's always sort of been that way.
Right. There's going to be some caveat, and that, I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like this, hopefully it's not too rampant, and this is something that becomes less and less, we'll see less and less instances of this, but it is what it is. I mean, that kind of sucks. That means that now, maybe that's why it's getting middling reviews, because of that type of thing. Like you're getting all these people, hey, this big Game Pass exclusive or whatever is coming out, and it's shit, or it's part broken, or
Yeah. Yeah, because I gotta say, I was hyped for it, and I still am. It's pretty early on still.
Right.
But it's definitely taken some of like the sheen and luster off of it. That 30 of my minutes of gameplay so far have been spent just like frustrated because something's broken.
Damn,
like
that
legitimately
sucks.
broken. Yeah. So it's like, is this like a cyberpunk theme? Like if you make a cyberpunk game, it glitches out. That's just
right. It's like, what's happening here? Exactly. That's exactly how it feels like. Like what's happening with games that have like these cyberpunk themes, and it's like broken messes.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the game itself it's gorgeous. I'll give it that. Like with the ray tracing stuff turned on, it is really pretty. The ray tracing does make a difference.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I hope for the best because it's a good time so far. So
okay, that's good to hear.
Besides those things, yeah.
So I'll try.
And I do want you to play because we gotta try the co-op.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I think it's 4-player co-op, so maybe Pfeffer can get in on the action too if she's.
Oh yeah, and it's overhead, so she gets sick from like FPS games, but something like this, she can totally get down with.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. So that's that. Did you see any of the Halo news?
I saw that there was a technical preview today.
Yeah.
And it got pushed back a few hours, or there was some bugs or something, like they couldn't launch it the way they wanted. But that's,
oh really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I was on Twitter and they were like, "Oh, don't worry." Like, they did like a almost like a in character type of post, like, what they said, launching flight 7 something, we were not able to deploy. We'll try this, we'll try a new trick and redeploy something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
I get you.
But yeah. And
okay.
of course the fanboys come out and it's just like, oh, they can't even get a technical preview. I'm like, this is why they have a technical preview, to make sure that when things break they can fix them before launch. So
Yeah,
But
and also it's like a stream, like relax.
yeah, and I'm like, it wasn't for people to play, right? It was just them playing it or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was it was a developer, and then it looks like a some sort of news writer or something.
Okay.
And they went over some of the guns, some like the shooting mechanics, things like that. I didn't get to see all of it. But
Right.
from what I saw, it looks nice. It looks fun. It looks like Halo, and I mean, it definitely looks like they're putting a lot of money behind the marketing.
Yeah, that's for sure. I saw like a little clip of some gameplay a few days ago, and it looked pretty fire though, like from what I saw. And it was running, I think, on the standard Xbox, because this game is supposed to run on the OG Xbox and up. And from what I saw,
Wait,
it looked pretty fire.
How OG?
Like, I mean, Xbox
Okay,
One.
I was like,
Sorry, my bad.
I
OG
see.
Xbox One. So many
I
different
got you.
versions, because you have the Xbox One, the One S, the Series S, Series
Right,
X.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's supposed to be a last gen title into the next gen. So, but it looked
Okay.
pretty damn good from what I saw. So,
Yeah, like I think it's all multiplayer that they've been showing, and that already looks good. And the single player in general historically has looked, a little better. So
Right.
if multiplayer looks that good, I'm pretty happy.
yeah, I'm down.
It-
I'm down.
Yeah. It has the character of Halo, which I like. Like they didn't like dilute that or make it something else. So I'm
Exactly.
all for that.
I'm
yeah.
actually, I'm pretty excited. I really hope. I mean, I think they know this. They have to make sure that multiplayer, even if the story is not up to par or whatever, they know that the multiplayer is what's going to drive that game home and
Yeah.
compete with the big guns like Call of Duty and Battlefield. And now they have unfortunately they have a leg up, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to choose this over Call of Duty this year, but with all that bullshit news last week, so, and continuing into this week. But yeah,
You
because
think so?
some people, not enough to hurt Activision at all.
No.
Because I've seen
Yeah.
the guys who are just like, I'm not going to stop playing my game just because, let them fix their company while I enjoy my game. Like, I'm just like, all right, But
Yeah.
I have Battlefield and we have Halo. So this may be the first year in the last 3 years that I may skip, unless I hear some crazy, like they fired, Bobby Kotick is out, which I doubt.
I know their response to it's been terrible too.
Yeah, it's
not
been-
to dive back into, but not good.
Yeah, it was not good. And they're just very just like dismissive, and it's just like whatever. And that's the old Blizzard, which sucks, because I was talking about I think it's Andy Morhaime, or the old Blizzard guy that a few episodes ago we discussed how they left to create their own company, and he released a statement saying that he was unaware, he's so sorry that people did this, and because they're blaming the old regime who just left, and I'm like,
Left, yeah.
and I'm like, is that why they left? Because they knew the storm was coming, or yeah, it got me thinking, like, if this is, and then did you happen to see that 2010 video where the girl's like, oh, can we get more characters in WoW that don't look like they came out of Victoria's Secret catalog? And then the dudes on stage
No.
are like, oh, what catalog would you like them to come out of? We'll choose better catalog. Like, real dismissive and like real shithead, that smug asshole. Like, these allegations are true based on that video. Like, they just sounded.
This is on stage.
This is on stage back in 2010.
Holy shit,
And the way
that's
they just
awesome.
make complete fun, like they're just like, oh, and then there's like a cow-like character, like a bull-like character, and they're like, oh, what about, I forget the name of that character.
Yeah.
Like, what about them? Oh, cows and things, right? Maybe we'll pick that catalog, and they were just,
Holy
real
shit.
asshole response, and it's just like, and here we are.
Yeah. The fact that it's taken like over a decade for that to come out,
Right.
It's just crazy how it's just nuts.
Yeah.
How companies can keep that so quiet and insulated, and people just see it's. You read about some of the studies that have been done, like completely off topic, but a group of people. It was something that happened. A group of people saw someone being raped, and because it was a crowd of them, instead of an individual, because it was a crowd of them, they let it happen, because nobody wants to be the first one to stop it and be wrong about it.
Oh, wow.
So it's all these different psychic things and mental things that are playing against each other. And because it's a group of people seeing it, they're less likely to help. versus if it's an individual saying it, he will help or she will help.
Wow.
So that type of thing is, it's occurring. You're all at the workplace and, well, oh, Bob's not doing anything, and Sarah's not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything.
Right. I don't want to be the only one who got fired or the only, and I lose my job while everyone sits there quietly like, yeah, it's screwed up. It's funny that you say that because that's kind of like what happened in my job that, many years back that I was on the verge of getting another job. They found out I was already underperformed. I was younger. I was calling out a lot. I hated the job. I was getting paid like $10 an hour to bust my ass. And I just didn't care. And the new job coming along was double the pay. It was like 20 and change, and
Hi-yo.
yeah. And so when they heard I was leaving, it was like they made sure to tell, because all the guys were on the verge of leaving. They all qualified for the job I was leaving for, and they would have gotten hired. And so what they did is they gave everybody a raise and then fired me at the end of the day. Like a real,
Nice.
Nice. So everyone's like, my pay just doubled. Fuck him. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't kill morale. All they saw was, I'm getting double the pay now while this jerk got fired. I don't care. Like, so even though it was a real screwed up thing that they did to me, all they saw was the money. And I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure it happens exactly like that. One person speaks up and it's like, all right, we'll do something. And they give everybody a raise, a nice bonus. And then they fire Steve because he spoke up. And it's just like, there you go. And that's, or most
Steve
likely
was just
Stephanie.
creating so much animosity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or Stephanie, because it would probably be a woman. That would be, since they're assholes over there. And they would fire Stephanie over that.
She was just a complainer. She just, she wasn't a team player. We kept trying to get her to work with us.
I've always liked Blizzard.
I
mean, when they see that $10,000 bonus that just came in, I never had a problem.
Wild.
I know you guys are just joking. So
well,
moving on.
Speaking of huge, massive companies that probably don't treat their employees correctly. Did you play the New World?
No.
From Amazon?
No, but I have been watching a lot of people play it on Twitch, and it looks fun. It looks fun. I haven't gotten the meat of it, but I gotta say, what's getting me the most is the whole like the way they gather resources. That it's like that addictive, like chopping the.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like gathering in that game, and you can chop trees and break rocks down, and then you gather materials to make new things.
And it's visual, like you see the tree being chopped, you see the rock kind of.
Right.
Okay.
It's not like Final Fantasy, like the way you said that. Like, Final Fantasy is the type where you can go chop a tree, but it's more of the act. You don't actually see the tree being chopped. Like the asset stays right there. This is like, it looks like a single player game, and it's not. So graphically, it looks pretty nice, and so I've seen some of the fighting. It looks pretty nice. So. It has potential. It really has potential to be a competitor to to other multiplayer games out there. Not to Final Fantasy, but to other
I was gonna
games.
say, how do you think it compares to your baby 14?
I really would have to play it and then see what kind of story they put out, because I think that's the biggest thing that keeps people is the story in Final Fantasy, as well as the very creative dungeons that they make and other sites. So there's so much. It's a theme park MMO, so there's so much to do.
Yeah. Yeah, also I think like the community, like at least for me personally, what had me hooked so much to Final Fantasy 11 was like the community of it. It's like an interactive chat room.
Exactly.
So I was making friends, hanging out, and then it just so happened that I'm doing all this really fun monster killing and shit on the side.
Exactly.
So I don't know what it's like in the New World. I don't know what the chat system is like. I don't know what the party, their version of link shells or guilds. Like I don't know any of that stuff.
Exactly. That's what I haven't gotten to see yet, and I think it ends in a few days. So I'm just like, maybe I'll just purchase it just to try it out, and if they have one more beta or something. But I'll probably end up. I think it comes out. I think this is the big beta, and then it comes out next month.
Yeah, it might be. Who knows? Maybe I'll try to sign up before it's gone. It's just I heard it was like burning 3090s, and I got kind of scared.
Yeah, me too.
I was like,
but it was only one brand. It was like one
MSI.
brand.
No, EVGA.
Yeah, EVGA, and it was only 3090s. And
yeah. It was a weird glitch where, because I just read an article, basically what was happening is it was getting a signal to spin the fans at 200,000 RPM.
Oh, shit.
So it would be at, 2,400 RPM, and then it would get like a quick signal to try to ramp it up to 200,000, and it would try.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Melting fucking video cards? Holy shit.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Fucking nuts. So it's pretty fire.
Damn.
But, yeah. With that being said, I think now would be a good time to move into the best news that's really come out recently in the Steam Deck. Have you heard about it? Have you seen it? Do you want it?
I was listening, and I know some listeners wanted our opinions on this big time because
on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, on the Steam Deck, because Ezra from the Idiot Ezra podcast, they got to talking about it on 2 of his last episodes, and he's confused on who this is for and what kind of sales figures that we may see from this for it to be successful and maybe in its potential. And I was his co-host Marvin hits me up from time to time because they listen to the podcast, and so when we say
friends of the show,
they're definitely friends of the show, and we do appreciate that.
That's awesome.
And so they were, Marvin tells me he screams at his radio when we say things that are either incorrect or he disagrees with, and
so he does a lot of screaming.
Yeah, probably.
We never claimed to be accurate. We said we were very casual gamers.
Yeah. So it's like, we try to be as accurate as possible, but yeah, I know sometimes we make assumptions, or we just we know what we mean, and people don't really know that what we mean when we say stupid shit. But
we'll get better, we promise. We're understanding how to communicate better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a tough format sometimes.
So pretty much he had his nephew Ramrod and their friend Eileen on there, and they were talking about different things about it and who it's for, and like it doesn't make sense and it's too underpowered. And there's something that I really would like to clear up about that, because sales figure wise, I think it's gonna do well. I think once people start to when more and more people see it in other people's hands, and we get this thing out in the wild, and people realize what it's for and who it's for, I think it's gonna sell well. So I'll start with that. Like I think it has a huge potential. The point. I
agree.
Right, like the point of people bring up the point that Valve has had other failed projects. You had the Steam Machine, you had the Steam Link, and their Steam controller have all kind of took a shit, and I get that, but those were for very specific use cases and markets that aren't as appealing as something as PC on the go. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say those are very different products. Those are
right.
Nintendo made a tennis racket peripheral and it bombed.
Exactly. Or they made the Virtual Boy, and it was a piece of shit, and it's just all right, yeah, we get it, but that was a very specific piece of hardware for a very specific audience that didn't see it, or the price point just wasn't there. The Steam Link is just to play, which I'm sad that actually failed, because that is kind of cool that you can play across the house, but I'm sure with not a lot of people care about that, and or I'm sure latency, maybe at the time Wi-Fi wasn't as good, things like that. Right. The Steam controller, that just didn't work very well, but that's a controller, so whatever. People are just gonna.
Nothing to say.
Yeah.
And how much was that? That was pretty expensive for a controller.
I think it was, but I can't remember the exact price. And then the Steam machines just didn't make sense. It was literally, now there's programs on this is going to be Linux based. There are programs on Linux that automatically let a game that would only work on Windows will make it work on Linux without the developer having to convert the game over or port the game to work on Linux. So gotcha. Exactly. So with that being said, now that wasn't around when the Steam machines came out, so that's why that failed, because their idea was you can play a bunch of games on the Steam machine, and stream from your gaming PC. And I'm like, why would you want to do that? That makes no sense. Everybody thought the Steam machines were going to be $400 console-like machines that you can plug into your TV, and you can play PC games with the controller right on your TV, and you don't need a classic PC. And it was Linux-based, but it didn't run everything like AAA's. It was a bad idea. But the Steam Deck now will run everything, save for a few multiplayer-heavy games, but it will run everything. And people come saying, but what's the point when I have a Switch? And there's a lot of points to be made there. I think a big thing, just to add on to that, I think a big thing, listeners might be bored because we're not going to disagree on this for the most part. Right.
But I think a big thing that is is going to change, and I think it's really going to shift perception, is when people figure out what it can do. I don't even think people know or understand what it can do right now.
Right.
Let alone like what it is. Like it's like a double, it's twofold questions. Like what is it and what does it do?
Exactly.
Like,
and all people are hearing are numbers. So they're in their conversation, this is what had me screaming at the radio, was they were laughing at the fact that, it's only going to run 30 frames per second. And I guess in one test,
that's incorrect.
one of the guys only saw it run, one of the people, Ramrod, was saying how he saw like running a game at 20 frames. Okay, fine. And that,
at 20 frames?
Yeah, but hear me out here. So it's like that might have been a thing. My assumption to that is either they were maxing out the graphics on a game to see how much it pushed, and it is older hardware, but what they're failing to understand is who it's for, right? So it's their main thing that they say is will work with your existing Steam library. So what that means, it's gonna be for existing Steam. You couldn't even pre-order it if you hadn't bought anything on Steam. That's how much it's for the PC community, because if you didn't buy anything in the last 30 days or 60 days or before June something, if you hadn't bought anything in June, you couldn't pre-order it. So these are for people who are actively buying games on Steam. People they made sure that if you want this, you have to have bought stuff already on Steam to pre-order it. I don't know if that's still the case or if they lifted that yet. But that's how much.
Nice, though, a little bit of loyalty.
Right.
Bit like, you've been here, you get first crack at it.
Exactly. Those are people who already have a PC. Great. So that's number one. Number two, Nintendo themselves.
How many people is that? 100 million?
Right. And it's like the people, Nintendo themselves have already proved, for the last 4 years, that portability trumps quality. Portability, people choose portability over quality. That so yes, while it has the specs of a base PS4, that's a base PS4 in your pocket with newer hardware. You're not using 2013 hardware, maybe some of the performance, but yeah, people pick. That's the word I wanted to say. Portability over performance. And that's what Nintendo has already proved that people don't mind having. So with that being said, it's meant, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Like you can run anything in the last generation is going to still look better on that small screen, than a PS4, PS4 game. I'm sure they were talking about how The Witcher won't even run. Yes, The Witcher will run on it because look, it runs on the Switch. So it's definitely going to run on this. It's probably going to look better, and it's going to run. I'm sure you can tweak it enough that it'll look better and run at 60 or very close to 60. Things on the Switch are locked at 30. Most games, unless it's Nintendo made or they really tried really hard, are running at 30 on the Switch. Guess what? You can lower the resolution a little bit more, and you can lower some settings. And I'm sure that most games that are both on the Switch and on the Steam Deck are it's gonna look better on the Steam Deck. I promise you it is.
I'd agree for sure.
Right? It's like
absolutely, yeah.
So so you have that. Then you have your existing Steam library, which means that your whole backlog of all the games you've ever played on or haven't played on Steam are now available in a small portable device. So you have tons of games there. They were talking about buttons. First of all, it's not meant. I'm sure. No one's looking to go play like a crazy competitive FPS. On a handheld.
Deck,
exactly, on a handheld. It has all the same amount of buttons any controller has, so it has enough buttons for 90% of games. And it has 2 touchpads, so you have the option of some kind of keyboard, mouse, kind of setup, or rather the mouse, because that's the bigger deal. Some kind of mouse up, which somebody was already showing that they were aiming with the touchpad and running, and using the other buttons for other stuff. So I'm like, so there's that. So you have 2 touchpads, two analog sticks, and then all the same buttons on any controller that you would normally play on a PC with. So I don't know, the whole button argument made no sense to me.
Wait, who's arguing about buttons?
Is
this Mario?
No, this was Ezra on the not Ezra himself, but his their nephew, Ramrod and company.
Ramrod, shame.
And I'm sorry, that's Pfeffer and Ezra's nephew, but it's like I love the guy, but like just for this one episode, and there's no hate here. This is all in fun and love and games. It's just more like really the buttons on the control. It has all the buttons of regular control. It's not like it has 2 buttons and a D-pad, and they're like.
Does this man own a Switch?
He does.
And he has the nerve to mention the word buttons? And he's a Switch owner? My guy, Nintendo has been fucking up buttons for years.
Exactly.
You cannot start a button argument if you're like, oh, I love my Switch, though. What the fuck is a Z button? Why is it there? Why is it like what? No, none of that makes sense.
And the OG regular Switch doesn't even have a proper D-pad. So, arguments could be made there. So this is why I was freaking out, because I'm like, you guys are acting like this is trying to take over PC gaming. No, it is an add-on. The same way that most PC gamers will not buy a PlayStation, will not buy an Xbox. They have their PC and they will buy the Switch for the portability, even though they know that they're losing quality. That you're gonna take an indie game. A side-scrolling indie game, you're not going to care to play it on lower quality on the Switch because you have it portable. But now you're getting comparable quality for indie games on the go. And you can buy, all you have to do is buy it once. You can start your game on your PC, and with Steam's amazing cloud save feature, take that shit on the go with you, and you have comparable quality. So that's what we're talking about here. There's a mark. So when people like that, when ignorant, and what that showed me is that there's ignorance out there about this. And when they finally see the better use case scenarios for it, then I think, and Ezra said they were guessing on the episode before that, they were guessing how much does it have to sell? I think, I agree. 10 million would be successful in my opinion. And I would said it out loud, and then Ezra said it too. So I thought that was dope. Like, we're on the same page there. I think for it to be considered, popular and successful for a successor would be 10 million in sales, which I think it can very well do. The
10 million units, you think?
Yeah, sold. For it to be successful, will it hit that? I think it could. I really think it could. And if it doesn't hit it now, then maybe if it's good enough for, I think 5 million for another iteration of it. And then, but I think once people start to realize that you can take your Steam library, and plus, another thing people are forgetting is Steam is big on cloud gaming as well. So being able to connect to your PC at home right from that, or side loading a Game Pass right on there, or whatever, I think that's going to be cool too. So maybe the game looks like trash, but you want to play in bed, it's still a great option to take that. Say, oh, I don't want to look at it ugly in bed. You can stream it from your PC and just play play that same game in the better graphics, streaming over your local network. Now, out in the street, your mileage may vary. Obviously, whether you're connecting to your phone or if you're on whatever, you have Wi-Fi, that may not be the best solution. But hey, you want to be in bed? That's a great solution because it runs really well. I already do that from my phone with Steam Link, so I'm sure that's going to be integrated and optimized on their deck. So. So like I said, but from the get, what they were forgetting, making fun of the specs and making fun of how powerful it is that, number one, everything they've tossed at it does run. Two, some things are hitting 30 frames per second, but you can tweak that and make it look a little ugly. That's the problem with something like a PS4, that that
you're locked in.
You're locked at whatever the developer made for that station, where you say, you may not care, like, oh, you can take away some shadows, take away some resolution, and hit those higher. Even 45 frames per second is better than 30. And because
30 is kind of rough nowadays.
Yeah, if you're hitting,
is tough.
The PlayStation Pro hit 48 frames, and I didn't know it wasn't hitting 60 till I saw a real 60. But it's so much easier on the eyes to see it at something like 48 or 50. You may not hit a lock 60, but they're locking those frame rates on the console. So that's the other thing. You can have variable. I'm sure you can. It can vary. The frame rate can vary. Because again, it's a PC, so it's okay for it. It's not locked to anything.
Exactly.
So that's my rant. I had to just because it's like they completely forgot the whole portability part. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a little shittier on there. You literally put it like this. When Monster Hunter Rise comes out for PC, it's gonna and it obviously will become
handheld.
And you play it on that Steam Deck, it's gonna destroy the Switch version. I guarantee. I'm saying it right now. It's going to destroy the Switch version. It's going to be at a higher frame rate. I'm sure it's gonna look prettier, and the colors are already amazing. It already has an OLED screen, you know. And yeah, the price point seems a little rough, but it's only $50 more for double the power than the Switch. So yes, while you do lose Nintendo exclusives, you're getting the thousands upon thousands of PC games as well as AAA games that are never going to come out on the Switch. So it's a trade-off. Nintendo exclusives or every other AAA game that's cross-platform that will not play on the Switch. So I mean, and I got to say, I mean, everything you said is spot on. I agree with it. There's not too much I can even argue or anything I can argue with. Like, there was a video that just came out with Gabe Newell, obviously Valve fucking, big man on campus. Right.
So, and he was talking about it, and something that he dropped, he's very, very tactical. He's watching himself a lot. But something he mentioned is, all right, Nintendo sold like 54 million units, right? That's, I think approximately that's what they're at. So that's now 54 million, eventually kids who are going to become teenagers as well, who might be like, hey, this is a nice upgrade. That's not like a full-fledged PC, but it's still handheld. It's something that I can now, I can evolve into that. So, and like you said, it's portable. It's a handheld PC in your hand. And something that Gabe Newell was talking about and he mentioned is, it's the Steam library and the Epic library and Game Pass and Ubisoft and the EA store. You have everything. And not only that, you might get Nintendo if you get some emulators running on there, which you will.
And they're
going to have emulators.
You can fully install Windows, which means that you can have.
You're going to be playing Breath of the Wild on the Steam Deck within a year.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Within a month, because day one.
I won't go that far. I don't know, but you might be right.
No, because
it's gonna be nuts.
Remember, you have the Dolphin emulator that can run Wii U emulation runs pretty well on PC. I don't know how well it run on those specs, granted, but so it may take some time. But people are going to be trying literally that first month to see how far they can push that console. And when people see what these underground devs are going to be doing, what all types of people are going to be doing, like imagine the possibilities. Like it's going to be crazy. It's going to be fire. Like I said, fine. It may not run fucking, I don't know, it may not run.
Well, also the thing I heard is that 30 FPS is the baseline. Right. That's what they want to make sure every game runs bare minimum. Nothing is ever going to go under 30 from what I'm understanding. And that's what seems to be what he said. 30 is the baseline. So that's like the bare minimum. Most things he wants running at 60 and will run at 60. But the things that are more intense, 30 is like the bare minimum.
And that's at medium settings. We're not talking about low settings and lower resolution. And remember, games are going to be locked at 720p on that, which is already again, if it has PS4 specs with a lower resolution, that means that games that were stuck at 30 on PS4 are going to probably, like you said, hit 60 at that resolution. At medium set. We're not talking about ray tracing on. We're not talking about max.
Well, wait a second, because then it's a PC. Once they get DLSS running on that,
there's
what zero excuse for anything to be running at 30 FPS.
Exactly. And once it's running on the Zen 2, so it's AMD. So whenever AMD finally launches that, then we're gonna start seeing even better performance on that. So this thing is going to sell. It's just that I think a lot of people have that mentality. They're gonna have the mentality of, why would I get that? I have a Switch. I'm like, but you're buying the game twice. You have options with a Steam Deck. You have options.
And what do they mean because they have a Switch? Like, as a gamer, my Switch is so different than anything else in my gaming life. Like, I consider it. It's hard to say. It's like it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like, I have my PC, I have my console, and then it's like, my Switch. They're very specific things I go to my Switch for. You know what
exactly.
I mean? Like, I want to play that one specific thing. That's why I'm there.
Well, for
so
the
how can
indie
you compare
games,
that to a Steam Deck?
Because that's what they're saying, that like if you want to play indies on the go, and if you care that much about indies on the go, then you have a Switch. But most games are still running worse than they would on a PC. You have to buy it in Nintendo's ecosystem. You're not getting mod support if that exists. Let's say something like Valheim. That's not on the Switch, and that's a great portable game with mod support that you will be able to take with you. And one purchase. That's the thing. That's where you're making up that little $50. Guess what? Now you can buy a game once, have it on your PC, and take that on the go. Because, like I said, the Steam's cloud save means as long as you can get an internet connection, you can transfer make sure it loads up, and you have that on the go. Expandable memory. I get it. 64 gigs ain't shit. But you can expand that with an SD card. Get yourself a 256, 512.
Memory's getting cheap.
Go. Exactly.
It's really not that
and
bad
fast.
Anymore. Yeah, really fast. It's pretty solid, actually.
So, and then the other argument was connectivity. Like, Ezra feels most people play multiplayer games. That is true. But again, just like with the Switch, people aren't buying the Switch to play online games. They're not.
Right,
they're buying the Switch to play single player or local multiplayer, and
I was gonna say local maybe for like Smash Bros or something.
Exactly. So, and then think of it like this: you're a broke, fresh out of high school or whatever. Not that broke. Let's say, but you're getting ready to go to college. You only have a few $100 and you need a laptop.
Yeah.
You can literally buy this thing, get the dock that comes with it. And now you have a portable gaming PC and a PC to do schoolwork on because you can install Windows on it. Now, I'm sure that'll be a small use case, but the options are there. It's there, though.
The option is there, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why buy a laptop? I mean, yes, a laptop would probably be better, but again, you're still getting a pretty dope piece of art. Or let's say you already own it. Let's say you're in,
I was gonna say
some 17-year-old now owns it. And, next year they graduate, they still have it. Now you don't have to invest it. You already have a PC in your pocket you could take with you. And like I said,
it's cheaper, so you can just why not both? You can get a laptop and you can afford like a cool, gaming thing where
exactly.
You know what I mean?
So it's
versus something more expensive. So
that's what I'm saying. There's a huge use case for it, and I think I think
so.
I think people on Twitter and a lot of people don't know who it's for yet. And I think once you start seeing the emulators running, once you start seeing like them actually like showing the performance of like tweaking a little bit, like again, it's a little 7-inch 720p screen. How much, like if you look at something like Hyrule Warriors, I downloaded the demo and how blurry that game was. I could not believe that they would allow that kind of performance. It looked so blurry. I was like,
bad?
To me it was bad. It looked better on the when you put it on the dock. It looked a lot better, but on the small screen for them to get it to run with less it looked hard. To me, it looked horrible. And I'm like, it really, I saw the Switch's age when I saw that. It's still a fun game, and after a while your eyes kind of get used to how muddy it looks, but it was so muddy that I was like, wow, like that. See, you don't have to settle for that if you don't want to on something like the Steam Deck. You're gonna get better resolutions and better looking games because games just run differently, and it's running on Linux, so you're probably it may run. It means the underbelly is probably still lighter than something like Windows, so you're still getting.
I was gonna say
yeah. So
I was gonna say developers will probably be able to tweak things here or there for it. Steam themselves might be able to tweak things here or there for certain games to get them running better. I don't know. I'm just excited to play like a full-fledged PC game on like not my cell phone.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like without having to stream it through some internet. So having to do some weird connection and match IPs and link it and mirror that and just
or be stuck with cloud gaming.
Or be stuck with cloud gaming. Cloud gaming is it's not there yet.
It's not. Maybe when cloud gaming is there, then there's no use for this. This is like the last the last effort before cloud gaming probably takes over this space. But right now, this is going to change a lot. And I see it. I see the vision. I see what Gabe Newell sees. I think this is the perfect time for it. And I really think the Steam Deck's going to take over. I really think that people don't see it now, but because they're listening to it. I'm like, people don't care about, again, marketing. They have to market this thing. But of course, I think once they see, when everyone sees their nerd friend or someone like me playing fucking, Assassin's Creed or The Witcher looking fire on that shit, and it looks decent enough, it's going to look better than the Switch. If the Switch can run it, that means that shit's going to kill the Switch. It's going to, graphically, it's going to look so much better. and just, and then like I said, you have things like emulation where you can have your whole Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis library right there, arcade games on the go, whatever you want. It's gonna do so much because it's not just gaming; it's gonna be a multifaceted device. So that $400 is not just for gaming. That $400 is for a PC in your pocket. That's literally it's more expensive or whatever, but again, it's gonna do so much more than the Switch, and that's what people need to realize. And like I said, once everyone starts to see, like, damn, like that is fire, like like he, like let's say even Ramra, who plays Destiny, that's his main game he plays. That imagine being with a decent enough internet connection, and you just want to do some. Again, I'm not saying this is the best way to play, but you want to just do some dailies or do something easy or just get, run
a strike real quick.
Exactly. You can get on, run that real fast and get off. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to
on the way to work, on the way from work.
Exactly.
Just hop on, boop, 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 do your thing, and all right, cool. Waste of time. I'm good.
Exactly. And
I don't know. I'm with you. Like, I don't know. I'm hyped. I'm excited. Like, this is partially what got me into the next topic, which was why I feel so good about gaming. Like, I'm euphoric about it. I'm like, it almost feels like Christmas time is around the corner. It's just things are opening up, like, gaming wise. I'm seeing trailers. I'm seeing all this cool energy.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more things. And the Steam Deck played a big part in that, where I'm like you, like, I feel super positive about it. I think when people, like you said, when they see other people with it, they see them doing super cool shit. They see them playing games that they haven't seen, because you're going to get those wild, like, even a basic but wild Pac-Man emulation.
Right.
You're gonna see people playing like cool ass Pac-Man games with all the rainbow effects and Pac-Man Ultra XXX triple 3D whatever, and they're like, what the fuck is that?
Exactly.
Steam Deck? Oh, that's cool. All right, what else you play on that? Oh, I can throw The Witcher on here. I can throw Skyrim version 18 on there. Whatever.
And it's at a price point where the secondhand market, in a year, you can buy, for $100 cheaper or a little cheaper, or like maybe get the higher end models, at the $400 price point later on. Because then, when people are always resell stuff, and you can always buy those things secondhand. And I think once it starts getting into more people's hands, people are going to see the value in that. And like, again, it may take some time to, no pun intended, pick up steam, but I think this thing's going to take off. I just think people don't realize who it's for, and it's for the PC gamer. It's for the person who knows what it is right now. And I think as more people notice that, I'm like, wait, so I can play all the games from my Steam library, which almost, if you've ever owned a PC even for a little while, or all those games that Epic has given out, or all those games that that or from Humble Bundles and things like that. Like, there's so many places to play, that people are getting free games nowadays, or Game Pass. Having Game Pass, having all those games for free installed, right? You don't even have to buy games. You can just play your Game Pass games right on the Steam Deck. That is a big fucking deal.
It's pretty funny. It is. And it was funny because during the interview, they asked Gabe, they were like, Newell, they were like, so did you hear from any of the other companies about this before you did it? Seeing as how, Microsoft has their Game Pass, and if someone has your Steam Deck, they don't even have to buy a PC from Windows anymore or from Microsoft. They just use your Steam Deck, and now they have Game Pass. And he was very, diplomatic about, with the answer. But like you said, I think people, when they see everything that is going to be available on it,
and if it does,
they're gonna be into it.
Exactly. And if it does, and we need this to take off, because competition. All those other manufacturers that already make these things, they're going. I'm sure Valve has a deal with AMD to help optimize this, but who's to say Valve won't want to do this with other people, or other people who already make chips can just, that happens all the time. So one company comes out with something, and here come all the knockoffs.
Exactly.
If they can meet those specs just enough, you're going to see more versions of this type of stuff. Or maybe Microsoft will wake up and realize this is what they need. Microsoft, a Surface game or whatever, because they already make their tablets, right? So imagine that version with Windows 11 coming out, that can run on similar specs. They already have a relationship with AMD. They can call it the Xbox Pocket or whatever, and you can all your cloud games, all your Xbox PC games, whatever you want to do, right there in the Xbox ecosystem, and it runs, it'll run every Xbox game at least, at a certain level or whatever, and
Right.
or your favorite PC games or whatever, whatever the case may be, and if it doesn't run, if it's not powerful enough, hey, you can stream it through the cloud. Boom. I think Microsoft is gonna compete with that. That's gonna be their competition. It's like,
maybe Microsoft just says, "That's very nice. We're going to buy you now."
right?
They just buy Steam. That would be a big
Valve,
move if I've ever seen one.
That would be crazy.
By Valve, yeah, that'd be nuts.
I think that would be some kind of antitrust lawsuit waiting to happen. But I don't think Newell would ever give up his baby like that. I don't know. That's his baby, and I
was gonna say he's like built that thing brick by brick.
Exactly.
That's like all him. It's crazy.
So yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me. Every time I see it, it reminds me of what you had a long time ago, which is, I think, what was it, the PS Vita?
Right.
Where everybody had it, everybody modded it, but when it first came out, no one was really.
Oh, that was,
as far as I remember, nobody's really fucking with it until they were like, "Oh, we can mod it, we can." Really
right, the PSP. That was the PSP.
PSP. Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah, because it's true. Yeah. I think a big reason why people, because it was when the Slim came out. I had, it was very the original and the Slim were the original version of the Slim, and the original PSP were very easy to mod. And once you did that, and you could play Super Nintendo and do all those things, and you could play all these old games, as well as sideload other games. It was just an amazing thing. And
yeah,
and hey, if that's what gets people to buy it, and not for nothing, I know I'm not condoning this in any way, but think about it. You don't even gotta mod it to play games for free on this shit.
I know.
It's
pretty.
You go, piracy still exists, and you could easily just download whatever game you want.
We don't support that here.
I'm not exactly. I'm not condoning it, but it's another thing that may get people to pay money for this thing.
No, that's true. A lot of people are gonna have a lot of fun with this device, I think.
That's what I'm saying. It's an open device. It's a PC. It's not a locked ecosystem like the Switch. It is a PC where you can tweak it. You look at how you were just telling me yesterday how you were tweaking your PC to do all kinds of things to make Warzone work better. You don't think there's gonna be a million nerds out there telling you how to tweak that shit to make a game run better? They're gonna tell you what to turn on, what to turn off, how to do this, how to do that. There's gonna be
kernels and APIs out the ass to fucking optimize, and it's gonna be nuts.
The modding community is gonna go ham on this, because now you have this. Sorry, I'm just getting excited right now because that's a fucking breakthrough.
Boy, down.
Right? Think about it. Again, Valheim again. That game was lacking in quality of life features, and the modding community fixed that shit up in the first 2 weeks of that game being out. The modding community had already new menu systems and new things to make the game run faster, better, change the color. The first week Cyberpunk came out, modders were fixing the game. Look at Skyrim. That modders have upgraded the game themselves. So imagine the other way around. Imagine now modders saying, "Hey, it runs at 30, but now you can max it out because there's something in the API that they figured out that now the game will run on Steam Deck." People are gonna love this thing because that's gonna be the challenge now. How to get the latest and greatest running on that machine, because exactly, because of what it is. Because, you know what I'm saying? Laptops exist and stuff like that, but I think this will open the door for people to try a little harder because, again, for what it is, it's going to be this cool little handheld device. So
exactly. I don't know. It's just cool. You slip it in your pocket, break it out on the plane, train, automobile, live your best gaming life, and then put it away and continue. I don't know. And
we're not even talking about multimedia, because now, again, if you install Windows or whatever, or even Linux, I'm sure there's Linux-based programs that run whatever format you want. You don't even got Netflix, if I'm not mistaken, right? There's not even Netflix on the Switch right now.
On the Switch? So actually, no, I don't think there is.
Exactly. So now you can have your Netflix, your Disney Plus, whatever, your own movie library, music, whatever you want. You're gonna be able to play music at the same time as you're playing your game. there's, again, the possibilities are going to be endless with this thing, and that's what people aren't waking up to. They're laughing at the specs and laughing, oh, you can't do nothing with that. Oh, the girl on the podcast that I hope it fails. I'm like, why? What's the hate on this thing? It's not.
I was gonna say, yeah, hope failure for a new product. Why?
Exactly, something that would be dope in the future. So yeah, I'm sure it was a little tongue in cheek or whatever, and they were exaggerating. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But what I'm trying to say here is, like, the ignorance was just oozing, and it was just like, come on, guys, like, you're not thinking past just performance. Performance isn't everything, and your Lord and Savior Nintendo has proven that portability over performance, and it's winning. You know what I mean? It's winning. And until the first, like, company that comes out with a handle that can legit run AAA games at their highest quality, people are going to make that. People aren't going to mind making the exception and saying, yeah, it's a little uglier on here, but hey, I get to play it in bed. Hey, I get to play it in, at this boring place I'm at, or on the go, or on vacation, or whatever. I can play Final Fantasy 14 and run my dailies real quick, and stuff like that. So yeah, for online on the go is probably not going to be a good solution, but that's not what it's for. And because, like I said, that was one of the other things. I was just like, forget about connectivity. Think about all the thousands of single player games that are going to work. All the that nobody ever thought they could play. Even the more AAA. And again, it's like, somebody on Twitter made fun. They were like, oh, with such small memory, good, have fun with your 5 games. I'm like, yeah, and those are 5 games that probably will never run on Switch. So
I was gonna say, yeah.
So that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's gonna do well once people realize what we're realizing, what we're already seeing, what the vast majority of people on Twitter who were so excited for this thing are seeing. Like, once you realize that, it's like, this shit's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire.
It's gonna be fire.
As long as it works, assuming it works and all that. Yeah.
Right. They're not like crazy hardware failures and all that. Yeah. But assuming all that, I guarantee all 3 of those people will be proud owners of a Steam Deck sooner than later.
That's what I'm saying.
It's gonna have too many fire things to just do on it.
Exactly. So, it's like, if you like your Switch, you'll see that it's like, buy a laptop, for a decent laptop, that's gonna play that for, because it's like, that's way bigger though. I get it. Laptops exist, but those are way bigger. I
was gonna say way bigger. You have battery issues all the time. They're never as portable as the market. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh man, that's tiny. Even the MacBook Air, you're like, yeah, it's super tiny. And you can't. It's still a fucking laptop.
Exactly. And then you're forgetting you still have to have a controller and all those, for and that.
Your charger.
So, yeah, and the charger. So you're still carrying around extra stuff just to play, when this thing is just literally put in a little bag, whatever, you whip it out, and you can still dock it to play on a big screen. So that option still exists. So
exactly. All right. Well, that being said, we'll stop berating our fellow friends at the Ezra Podcast for now. We love you guys, but get your shit together.
And like I said, it's all in fun. It's not like I was like legit mad. It's just like, come on, guys, what are you doing? It's better than that. Why?
We want more people in on the party. That's all.
Right. Exactly.
We want everybody here for it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you excited about the holidays coming up for games?
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems to me that it's going to be fire. So, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, like we said before, Battlefield coming out. There's a bunch of stuff coming out. Like Back for Blood comes out in October. A bunch of stuff comes out in October.
That has a beta, actually. Are you going to sign up for the beta for that?
I was trying, but it's like, it's going to be on Game Pass, and they want you to buy it. So I'm already established, because I was in the first beta. So I'm already signed up. So I'm just waiting for a response. But
okay, I didn't know that. Very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
And it's good. Okay. I mean, it feels like Left 4 Dead. It really feels like Left 4 Dead, like a modern Left 4 Dead. It feels very nice to shoot. It felt better than something like World War Z, which tried to do the same thing. Okay. Like, I thought it felt nicer than World War Z, and so
cool. How was the audio? What was like the sound like? Good sound, the gun sound powerful?
From what I remember, I was enjoying a lot of it. Like, it was pretty damn crazy. Like, because then the zombies feel nice to shoot, but then they get so overwhelming that, so you feel that like action. Then you got the giant monsters that come in too that look bonkers. So yeah, from what I remember, I'm hoping this was just like the alpha or very early beta. So I can't wait to see what improvements they've made. And then you got
fire.
And then, like you said, I think the biggest thing that reminded me, I was looking at games coming out is Dying Light 2, man. I cannot wait for that.
They keep teasing us with these little like developer snippets, these developer videos, and they're showing things. But man, I'm just like, just nothing else. Don't show me a single like extra piece of content. Just drop that sweet, sweet game on me, baby. That's
Exactly. That
That's
is
all
a
I
day
want.
one. I'm gonna be up at midnight. I might even stream that shit, or I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna be all over Dying Light. And yeah, I'm just excited. Yeah, it's true. It's like we're finally getting there. It's like this year
Yeah.
feels worse almost than 2020 because the pandemic hit in 2020. So everything that was being worked on 2019 was dropping. But now everything that got slowed down in 2020 now is freaking. It feels like gaming is stagnant. At this moment, there hasn't been a banger since like only whatever PlayStation was been dropping. And then
the Cyberpunk was supposed to be that savior, and they completely fucking shit the bed. So
yeah.
and
So
the Ascent seems to be the first, I guess. It's not even AAA though. I don't even know.
yeah.
Really haven't had anything yet.
Are you excited for what's the game? The one that Xbox is dropping soon.
Use your words. Use your words.
What's the cartoony looking game with the mind, the brain, the mind stuff?
Oh, Psychonauts.
Yeah,
Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine, Tim
Yeah.
Schafer. Yeah, man. See, I know names. I can drop names. I am. Yeah, the first one I played. I think I was the only person I know who played that. But it's quirky. It's unique. It was has character. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. That's gonna be a good time.
Okay, yeah, because
I like his stuff.
yeah, people were comparing it to Ratchet and Clank and saying that it looks like a PS2 game, and blah, blah. I'm just like, shut up.
You know what? The same shit that they said about the first one. Oh, it looks so cartoony. I can't. What is it? They can't figure it out. It's just people when something's unknown, they just completely.
I
they'd
really
rather
hope
not
this doesn't
try
go
to
that.
think about it.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't go that same route with people because people were shitting. I'm like, come on, like Double Fine's essentially like an indie studio almost, and it's just at this point.
Yeah.
And while they're known for over the years, they're still a small studio, and it's like people were already like, stop comparing it to because of the graphics. So they're comparing but I'm like, it's not trying to be this AAA banger
It's a different game. It's not the cinematic,
Right.
extravaganza.
And
that's not that.
And not for nothing, Ratchet and Clank is fun, but it really does feel like more of a tech demo than anything else. And it's a great game. Don't get me wrong, but you could tell that they were just trying to show off what the PlayStation 5 could do with that game.
It's popcorn. It's a summer popcorn blockbuster. It's just mindless fun. You're like, all right.
Yeah, it has a little story. It's a little fun. You have some stuff to complete. It's not very long, and it's nice. But again, it's like it sucks that people aren't. But that's coming out soon. I'm looking forward to Psychonauts and we'll see.
Psychonauts it's a deeper. They tell actual lessons. You might learn something. You might
exactly that too.
Pick up a moral or two. It has some substance to it. Like most of his games actually tell a story. So yeah, if you don't like deep shit, if you don't like thinking, then maybe stay away from it.
Exactly. And I guess it's not for everybody, but the fact that it's like people are just looking at graphics, I'm just like, why don't you worry about what kind of game it is or the gameplay and stop it with this nonsense?
I hope they don't own Switches.
Right? That's what I'm saying. See, people love this argument. It's just like, again, you own a Switch. Stop. But but tonight,
what can you do?
Was it today or I think it's today? Blaster Master 03 launched, and I'm excited to play that. I played the first. Blaster Master is an old NES game. I streamed the remake, which was a very faithful remake, and then I beat the second one. So now I'm looking forward to streaming that tomorrow. For the finale of the trilogy. So very
cool.
very fun game.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool, man. One thing I want to mention, just because I was playing something else and I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, Last Stop. Did you touch on that? It's on Game Pass as well.
I didn't play it. I know Pfeffer was looking forward to that. It's like a stories.
Yeah, that's kind of all right. Because I want to get her take on it because I played it and it started off strong, but I've got some real big gripes with it that I just can't get over.
Oh yeah.
So I want to see what she thought. Yeah, it has to do with the writing. It's one of those things where it's like choose your own adventure, but then very quickly it stops being your adventure. And it gets really just like maddening with like some of the choices that you make, and they just it's like, hey, your options are: do you say no? Do you say yes? Do you say maybe? And it's like, yeah, I say yes, and then your character's like, I don't know, I'll think about it. Get out of my face. And it's like, I said yes. Why? What? Why? What? How? Is that
Really? I gotta check it out now.
Yeah, it's just very weird. Like, you pick something, and then the words they use to convey that choice are very different. It's like, I just wanted a simple yes, or like, I wanted to affirmatively do that, and it seems like you had something else in mind, and you're gonna make me do that no matter what.
Oh, that sucks if it's like a fake choice. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I wanted her take, because maybe it's just me being too much of a pain, being too much of a stickler.
I feel
It's just
that.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I forgot that I forgot that that's what the game was about, the whole choice thing. So yeah, I have to check it out. I'll check it out too and see or whatnot. But
it was interesting.
But yeah,
it was definitely interesting.
I think we're finally seeing the light, of at the end of the tunnel of game releases finally dropping of anticipated games. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
it's gonna be hot fuego fire.
Side note of some information that came out today. Did you hear about the Sony's SSD expansion? Finally, they're now it's in beta because they're getting ready to release the firmware update that's gonna allow you to use a third-party SSD now.
Fill me in. What's the scoop?
So pretty much, yeah. So this whole year we haven't had. If you wanted to expand your PS5 memory, SSD memory, which because you can't play PS5 games on an external standard hard drive. So so you have to. We've been waiting. They've already said from before day one that you can buy a third-party one, go to Newegg, just buy an SSD. But what's happening is that you have to supply your own heat sink. So, you have to buy a heat sink because there's no heat dissipation built into the PlayStation, which I think is going to change. I think this is an oversight.
Wait,
yeah.
At all? In any of it?
Right. Like you have to... No, just for the SSD, where the SSD is going to go.
Oh, I was like, hold up. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so you have to buy your own SSD heat sink to go on top of it.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Impressive.
Yeah, that's a little bit risky, but then the argument's been like, oh, it's so easy to plug in the Xbox's like proprietary one. But I'm like, but you're stuck paying $220. Like if you just need an extra 500 gigs and you don't mind just an extra 500 gigs, that's normally like $80 or something like that, or even 100 for a fast
Is that how much it is for 500 gigs? $200?
No, it's a terabyte. It's a terabyte.
Oh, it's a terabyte.
Yeah, so $220. Yeah, $220 proprietary, so you can only use it on Xbox, and it's one size, a terabyte. But what I'm saying is that for PlayStation, you have to take off one of the sides and take out a screw, and then you can put it in. You can put in your SSD. And which has always been the case for PlayStation. This is new for Xbox, that they made it super easy, but proprietary. So if there's a Newegg sale and that dope PCI Express 4.0 7,000 megabyte transfer speed is on sale, you can't buy it for your Xbox. You have to. Yeah. So I think the trade-off is more in PlayStation's favor. Yeah, fine. You have to take a side off and maybe watch a YouTube video for the less technically inclined. But
don't fuck up that thermal paste. God help you if you fuck up that thermal paste.
But it's only a side, and like I said, it's one screw to take the door out. It's not like you have to take apart the whole PlayStation. Someone's like, "Don't you void your warranty?" I'm like, "No, of course not." Like you really think that? Like, oh, you swapped your hard drive? That's it. We're not gonna repair that shit. Like, come on.
To be honest, they're probably not gonna repair your PlayStation anyway, so don't worry about it. Yeah.
So it's like so people were like complaining about that, and I just want I think it's fine. I think it's cool. I think it's better to have it be a little finicky and have options than be stuck with a proprietary hard drive, because it's proprietary, and if you ever sell your PlayStation, you can keep that and put it in your computer. I guess.
Well, my thing with that is now but the PlayStation now uses their hard drive in proprietary ways. So now if you get that hard drive expansion, is it going to be able to read and write as fast as like the one built in that it needs to do some of those cooler effects that it does?
They did say that depending on the hard drive, the performance may not match what the internal one. So you're right there. So they're saying, what they are saying is that get one a slightly faster. Like so I think the one internal is like 5,500 megabyte transfer speed.
That's it?
Yeah, that's PCI Express. That's where it starts at 5500. Because PCI Express 3 is tops out at 3500 megabytes. Is it megabyte? Yeah, megabyte transfer speed. Whereas as PCI Express starts at 5500, 4.0 starts at 55 and up to like 7000. So you can find the 7000 transfer rate.
I got you. Okay.
You know, SSD, and that should make up the difference. But there's already Seagate's coming out with the first like approved, you know, Fire CUDA approved, and it's still cheaper than the Xbox's thing. But yeah,
is it? Yeah, because they're pretty pricey themselves. Seagate.
Yeah, well, I think without the heatsink, it's cheaper. I think with it, it's around the same price. But again,
it's so funny though, the dynamic, because I look at PlayStation owners as being the much more simple, not tech savvy people who wouldn't be able to do this, and then I see the Xbox guys as more PC dudes who would be able to rip it open, apply heatsink and a hard drive. So that's pretty funny that they flipped that. I don't know if I see most PlayStation owners doing.
That's the argument.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's the argument that like I don't see people doing it, but a lot of people did do it with the PS4. I mean, I don't know, maybe not as many as I'm thinking. So, but you know, it was for the PS4 you have to take, you know, open the door, take out it was one screw. That's the thing though. They've always made it one screw. Even on the PS3, you took out a little door on the side on the PS3, and it was one screw, and you pulled out the hard drive, and it was super easy to swap out.
And that was it.
Yeah,
okay.
so I think the whole panel thing is to me is the problem. Like they really shouldn't have. They should have made it where it was off to the side or something, and designed it where you don't have to take a panel off. You don't have to do none of that. But the fact that you have to pop off one of the side panels, I think is like the big deal everyone's making. It's really not that difficult, but.
Yeah, but yeah, you're gonna get people who just, you know, they never touch electronics. You know what I mean? They just don't know what to do. They don't trust themselves. It's whatever it is.
That's true too. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, like hopefully, you know, they'll redesign when there's a redesign, they'll fix that stupidity. I do think it's dumb that they, you know, with the whole panel thing, that really shouldn't have been the case. But like I said, I think a lot of people are thinking like you, like who's really gonna, you know, how many players are really gonna do that? You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
I know. I
don't know. I guess we will.
I don't even know if I care that much. I mean, I only play like 1 or 2 games at a time. 500 gigs is probably going to be fine for me for a while because you can put all your PS4 games on an external, which I've already done. And, you know, the one for now, I don't see myself upgrading until a terabyte's a little cheaper then maybe, you know, and more come out and there's more tests. And so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, you can install Warzone, that's for sure. But other than that, okay.
Warzone's
that'll
definitely
take up your entire fucking hard drive.
Exactly. So that I play on PC anyway. So like I said, because I have PC and I have games elsewhere for PS5 exclusives, 500 gigs is gonna be enough.
Yeah,
for now.
That's more than enough. Yeah. That's true.
Unless I change the way I game, but I don't really see myself really sticking to PlayStation unless there's really some back-to-back exclusives that come out within a few months of each other, and I'm still playing them.
Yeah. I mean, I had 500 gigs on my PS4 forever, and I mean that drove me nuts, but I got by. Like I managed.
Yeah, that's true.
It wasn't like the worst. So.
Yeah, because I have the 2 terabytes for PS4 games. I mean, and my PS4s, they all had 2 terabytes. Because I just waited to a sale and I would see like $60 for 2 terabytes. I'm like, hell yeah. And then
not bad.
At your favorite store, Micro Center, it was actually one of the guys there because I was looking for an external. He's like, wait, is this for a PlayStation? This is before you could plug it into the USB. And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, just buy this one here and just pop it open and you can get the laptop drive out of it. And I was like, oh, and it was on sale for like $60, 2 terabytes. So yeah, he showed me. Yeah, he was like, you just pop that open and you can use that hard drive. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, cause
that's cool.
Yeah, so you know, but yeah, I think
not bad.
I think that's it. Was there anything else you wanted to go over?
On the docket? Hey, listen, you ease up, all right? I'm running the show here.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you when it's done. I'll tell you when it's over, Sonny.
You're right.
No, so that was awesome. That was really good talk about the Steam Deck. Hopefully we educated some people on some things. Hopefully we pissed a few people off and they write us nasty letters.
Yeah, tweet at me.
And yeah, tweet at me, bro. Get at us, son. But moving on, I think a good way to end this is with a tinfoil hat topic. Firmly put those in place. And can we bring up our man, your guy, El Torrente's guy, Hideo Kojima? my guy, what the fuck is going on with this? Let's call it what it is. This is very, very obviously and clearly a Hideo Kojima product from Blue Box. And that's it.
For the first time, if you're watching the YouTube, I'm gonna put this picture here.
Yeah,
and show you right here or up here or somewhere on this screen. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna see what they posted, and it's abandoned. Exactly. They tweet out a picture of saying, "Oh, are you excited? Because we are." Showing that.
Yeah.
A guy with a fucking patch on.
Right. Faded, blurry, ever so slightly blurred out. Like, come on.
Exactly. If this is not the big okay, and for all those who may not know why that's a big deal, it's Solid Snake and Big Boss, two of Hideo Kojima's who everyone thinks this game is related to, Big Boss has always had an eye patch, and then in Metal Gear Solid 4, he has Solid Snake ends up having this mechanical eye patch thing that he uses on the same eye as the guy in the picture.
Big Boss. Yep.
Because everyone's like, oh, but it's on the wrong eye. First of all, that could be a mirror. Second, it could be Solid Snake and not Big Boss.
Exactly.
So there's that. And second, come on with all the fucking with all the fucking shit about Silent Hills and it being related to Kojima. You put a picture of a fucking eye patch, and then above the word abandoned, there's blurred out words that typically is a placeholder for a Hideo Kojima game or Kojima.
And the dude has, I'm pretty sure you could see like a faded out goatee. Like everything. Like, all I can say is when this first started, and I remember I said it semi-jokingly, but I thought about it a little bit, and the first teaser thing, they said a game's coming out and it starts with an S and ends with an L, and I said it starts with solid and it's ending with liquid. Solid Snake, Liquid Snake.
Holy shit.
Every day it's, I don't know, man. And then again, the picture of a tiny island, small island, you put that into the translator, and in Japanese the characters come out to Kojima.
Exactly.
Bro, come on.
It was freaky. I was like,
it's up.
Like, I knew what was gonna happen, but I did it anyway. So I put small island. I got the characters, threw it back in the translator, and said Kojima. I was like, that's the creepiest shit ever. Like, it just felt crazy.
That's wild.
I don't know what the hell is going on. All I know is that this is not related to Kojima. Then this is either the biggest troll or the stupidest fucking game studio to market a game. Like, like, you guys got all eyes on you. It's working. But if either this game, the only way this game will not fail is if it's the best motherfucking game to ever come out. Like, it's not related to Kojima. It's not related to anything that people think it is, but it's still this amazing game. And the people are like,
I don't even know. No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just the last thing I was going to say was that when we see the responses, they sound just like the responses back in 2012 with the whole Metal Gear Solid 5 thing. And it's like, oh, why would you think this? And it's the same way they're typing. It's almost like the same guys typing it out.
Yes.
and what was it? It was shit, and I lost my thought. There was one last thing I was gonna say. Oh, and we're like, oh, but how's it gonna run? They were like 4K 60. Nobody else is making those claims. Nobody else is making those claims.
An independent studio coming out full 4K, 60 FPS, instant real-time trailer. Never been done before, but this brand new studio that no one's ever heard of, we're gonna be the guys to do it. At this point, I'm like, I don't even want to hear you tell me that it's not Kojima related.
Exactly.
Like, that seems more preposterous to me at this point. I'm like, the dude has an eye patch. Everything points to Kojima or Hideo or a hill or a silent, like everything. Like, if someone comes up to me now, like if that dude comes back on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is with his crazy, even his background looked like the Phantom Pain background. It's like, dog, it looks like they put you in the same room and just like turn the lights off.
Exactly.
Like, everything looks like it's related to this. I'm very, very excited. If this turns out not to be it, even though, again, I do not believe that can be true, but if this is not it, I might have to like stage, like, I don't know, a picket protest or something.
Right?
I'll paint some signs. I don't know.
Like, I'm gonna be mad because everyone's like, oh, he's with Xbox. No, he sent a letter of intent with Xbox, which means that whatever this is, first of all, Death Stranding has been gone for like going on 2 years now. That game's been out. Damn, it's crazy.
No, almost 3.
No, it came out end of 2019.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because right before the pandemic. So the end of 2019 that game came out. So yeah, it's going the end of this year will be 2 years since that game launched, and you think he's just been doing nothing? If he just signed the letter of intent with Xbox, he's been working on other shit. And
exactly,
I think like so yeah, maybe he'll make a game with Xbox. It's gonna come, but I think whatever's happening now, some theories.
It's not gonna be this.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And if it's gonna run the way they say it's gonna run, then I have a feeling. Like I was thinking, like, what if it's just a Metal Gear like re-release and they're just like upscaling everything? So I'm like, maybe it's really not as crazy. I really hope that's not what it is, but. Think about also if you ever.
I mean, I would take that.
If it like a re-release, like if it was like a native, like everything was like upscaled, but it was still the same.
Like
I would take that too. Hell yeah, because
if they
like
you can do some wild shit with upscaling.
Exactly,
so.
And they're like it's 4K 60. So Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid 3, and 2 in 4K 60. Hey. That's not a bad deal. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if when all the PT conspiracies were out, right? I don't know. You ever watched the one where they say that PT, like he already knew he was getting fired, and that's why he made PT, and everything in PT kind of reflects that. So like the radio, you know, when the guy goes, "Mom and Dad don't like me anymore," and if you replace that with Konami, it all sounds so. Abandoned, like he got abandoned by his biggest company, like, you know, whatever. I don't know.
By the big blue box by Sony, the big blue
right?
box.
I don't know exactly. And then he went to the blue box studio after that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, too much shit lines up, and as crazy as it sounds, that eye patch and the island thing, right before, like, a few weeks before this shit launches, at the same time PT launched in like August of 2015 or whatever it was. Like, come on, it's all lining up. And if, like I said, if this is not it, I'm gonna be upset. I really will be upset. I'll be like, y'all tricking everybody.
I was gonna say this would build so much. I mean, I've said it before. Just to reiterate, it would build so much bad blood, like so much animosity. I would actively do my best to talk shit about this. I've never done that before on a public forum, but I might go out of my way just to talk shit about this game if this is what they did, like complete bait and switch and just dragged us along trying to no.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they're like, "Hey, but we always said that." I'm like, I don't give a shit. You like what? And then in the comments of that picture, I don't know if you saw Karaman and Blue Box. I think it was Karaman who was like, "But what? That's what the character looks like." You're telling me? I'm like, really though?
Stop it!
Like you're making a horror game with an eye patch character? Get the fuck out of here! No, you're not.
Right. After you already came out and said this has nothing to do with it, anything like that's just a coincidence. You know, we're so sorry for even making you think that they're related. But here's to do with an eye patch, blurry, completely, very similar.
With blurred text,
slight
right?
Get the fuck out of here! Stop it, bro.
I really think it says like Kojima Productions or something above that, and I'm like, you're bugging. I'm like, this is, and he did the same thing in with the other one. You watched the video of the bandage guy where Keeley at the time is like, so this is using the Fox engine, and it's like everybody knew what that was. I was like, Fox engine, that sounds like Metal Gear, like, Fox or whatever. And he goes, he makes that stupid face.
Yeah,
and
it's terrible.
What's funny is I gotta kind of for me, I felt cool because I got like 20 likes on the picture because I put snap with the guy going like that under the blue box thing, and I was like, I found that shit so funny because just that stupid face, and it's obviously related, but it's everyone's saying it, everyone knows it at this point. It's like it's Metal Gear, it's it, or it's Kojima related. I don't think it could be none of those. I don't care. All I know is that he's connected to it in some form or fashion, even if it's I think he's connected to it. Plus he's been making a trailer that he keeps talking about. He's like, it's hard to make a trailer, it's hard to do this. He's been making a trailer and tweeting about this trailer that he's doing for Death Stranding director's cut, and I'm like, so you didn't do the other one and it's taken you weeks to make this next one? I'm like, he's like, and he's been documenting a trailer that he's making. I'm like, this gotta be the shit he's talking about, like the trailer is quote unquote trailer he's making.
The only thing I could think of again, because in my head, I am completely sold that this is a Hideo Kojima production in some way. Something that would be wild that I thought about is he does keep mentioning he wants to do movies.
Yeah.
And it's like a simultaneous like release. So maybe this is more cinematic, more film, more, you know what I mean? More of a, I don't know, more of maybe just a passive experience than maybe some of his.
I mean, they're
his
saying it's a
previous
game
things.
all around, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, if they switched it up, I would
But
still.
they're also telling us that it's not Kojima. So
No, I know. No, like what I'm saying. Well, yeah, that's true. So maybe I'm just
be
saying like a
anything.
complete movie versus a game.
No,
Like
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. There got to be some kind of game aspect. I wouldn't be surprised if it is some kind of like announcement. Something crazy is gonna happen, and maybe
that's what I'm saying. That's like the most outrageous thing that I can accept right now. Outside of this not being Kojima.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm absolutely so that's Kojima. So the craziest thing for me would be that it's like something more cinematic and not a game, because I just don't even believe that it cannot be.
Right. Exactly.
him right
and
now.
then, like I said, I have to just remembered I have to preload because you can preload the experience thing on the PS5. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's and then what is it, August 12th or whatever it is?
I think the 11th. I think
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Yeah, but yeah, you gotta let me know how that is. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, like
I got no PS5, so
maybe well, people are gonna be everywhere. Maybe if maybe I'll try to stream it or something. But
oh, that's true.
yeah, man. So yeah, like I said, it's all. But to me, that the fuck. Sorry, I was looking.
No, it's all right.
Scrolling down Twitter and I see fucking Kojima. Oh, it's like some Japanese horror flick thing.
I was gonna say Kojima did what now?
Yeah, it's
Hold on a second.
it's some weird. I guess it's a Japanese horror movie. It's like an eye looking out of the sky or whatever.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, I was looking to see if we could see the. Anyway,
Who
the-
did?
yeah, no, this is it's whatever. Let me stop.
Okay.
But anyway, so
Yeah, don't read too deeply. Don't hurt
yeah,
yourself.
so moving on, yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, I think this is good. I mean, yeah. So that's all I gotta say about that. Like I said,
Yeah.
hopefully something interesting comes over the next few weeks, and we'll be freaking we do it or
Yeah.
fucking
Oh, we're gonna look like dummies. Yeah.
yeah. And I don't care because I'm like I
I was
said,
gonna say.
I really don't care if this is some bullshit. Then I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, like as always, it's fun to speculate. It's fun to talk shit about it. I do think it's gonna be like I said. I mean, you guys know how I feel now. It's definitely gonna be Kojima related. If it's not, I will eat my hat.
Yeah, I mean, I
will,
will be
but-
like disappointed, like more just like I don't care if people think I'm stupid, but I will be legit disappointed.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'll be pretty tight. But with that, this is a pretty solid episode. I think, man. This is pretty good. We were missing out Torrente, but I think for the most part, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, because I know last week we
yeah.
got a little serious, and that was like more
Mhm.
X Life. But this next one is this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and as you guys saw, Atokad ran the episode, and good job. I think you did
I think I did okay.
I think you did an amazing job, actually.
Thanks.
Stop trying to take my job though. Nah, but we can.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but I definitely don't mind switching it up from time to time for sure, because that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah. No, and also, yeah, and just guys in the comments are, just let us know how you feel. Tell your friends to watch. Get them to let us know how we're doing. If there's something you want to see or hear, or you think we could do better, we want to know about it. And as always, follow us on our socials. We got our Twitter
Please.
account, of course, on Twitch when games and Theft are streaming. You can follow me on my Twitter at, I believe it's at Atokad_22. You can tweet me mean or nasty things if you'd like, or nice things. I'm here for it. You can visit my SoundCloud as well at, I believe it's at DSJ_22. And I will be streaming some more music stuff in the near future. The last thing, the Rocksmith beta ended. That was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
warmed,
right.
I warmed up to it. I kept playing with it off stream, and I warmed up to it a little bit more. It's definitely the ultra wide screen was definitely a little kind of freaky with the guitar, but besides that, I had to slow things down a bit. I was trying to play like Rock Band, where it's like I'm good, I could just keep bumping up the difficulty, and you got to really slow down, go through the practice and practice those things a few times, and then go back and you know what I mean, and kind of
Yeah.
you got to treat it like real practice. So I had to slow down a bit.
That's
was a
really
good
cool.
time.
I really think I'm gonna mess with that game because I mean yeah with that and get a guitar to go with it because that really
Yeah.
looks fun. And if I could just show up every now and then and play a song, that'd be fire.
Yeah, I think the main thing that they're gonna have to work on, because then I did like a questionnaire afterwards, is gonna be the subscription pricing. Because I think they're trying to charge something like 15 a month.
15. That's
And
a little steep. Yeah.
That's a little steep for something like that, where we don't know how many songs are gonna be like updated, the quality of them, things like that. You know, it's like 1,000 new songs, but it's like 1,000 new songs of like the Teletubbies.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. It's like.
Yeah, that's true. That
but,
does feel a little steep. I would have thought anywhere from like maybe $8 to $10, but $15, and it's not like you're listening to this casually like on the go. But
That's what I'm saying. I was hoping like $5.99. I was like, I can do $5.99.
right,
You know what I mean? And maybe pay for a music pack. Like, all right, then $10 for like a big music pack with songs that I know I like.
yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what kind of comments they got and what they do with it.
Wow.
But yeah, again, thanks for joining us. Games, any last words before we go?
No, find a great way to stay in shape.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us and take care. See you later.
Later.
Wear your sunscreen.